The movie begins with a creature-like object hurtling towards the ground. It lands in a desert. A hunter and his dog are there. His dog emerges from the forest but is frightened by the sight and runs away. Meanwhile, the hunter hears a strange noise, which prompts him to pick up his gun and prepare to fire. The scene then cuts to the main character, Renee, who is fond of keeping strange pets. We then see Renee burned her pet lizard because it died. She asks her mother to take her to the store so she can buy food for her pets. We see her mother's boyfriend, whom Renee completely ignores. Seeing her boyfriend scolds her, Renee becomes angry and scratches his car. In the next scene, she gets ready and goes to school. We see that Renee has no friends and is bullied by everyone. Because of this, she considers animals her best friends. Then, when school is out, her mother comes to pick her up. Renee notices a slight change in her mother's behavior, which leads her to believe she's had a fight with her boyfriend. She tells her mother to leave him alone, but her mother says, "I love him and I feel good with him." Then she comes home, feeds her pets, and sings to them. The scene shifts to night. While everyone is sitting at the dining table, the mother's boyfriend points out the scratches on the car and a foul smell coming from the microwave. Renee reveals that she heated a dead rat in the oven for her snake. Seeing this, her mother's boyfriend becomes furious and hits her. Fed up with this rude behavior, Renee leaves the house on her ATV. She takes her ATV to a desert location and starts crying. Then she sees the same object. She approaches it, and the strange monster emerges from the wreckage. Renee is initially frightened, but later helps it and runs home. She returns home to find her mother and her boyfriend's argument over. Morning comes, and Renee sees several helicopters are flying over their house. She becomes worried about the monster. She makes a list at school to help the monster. She asks her friends for various tools. Upon returning home, her parents call her and give her a 24-hour sobriety coin, which Renee refuses to accept, and she goes to her room. She then secretly takes her mother's friend's car keys and takes the vehicle. She finds a bottle of vodka as well as a gun in the car. She gathers all the supplies and sets off to search for the monster in the desert. Renee drives to the same spot. At first, she doesn't see the creature, but then she uses her flashlight and finds it inside the crash site. She fires a test shot in the air with the gun, but the monster doesn't react at all. Renee approaches and sets up a camera. Still, the creature doesn't move. Renee thinks it might be dead and starts walking away. Suddenly, the creature jumps on Renee and knocks her onto the ground. It starts sniffing her, then moves away. Renee sees it clearly for the first time and confirms it's an alien. She tries to talk to it and offers it an apple, but the monster refuses to eat it. At that moment, helicopters fly past, and Renee tries to convince the alien that there's danger. In the evening, Renee returns home and realizes that the gun she took has been fired. It was probably left in the desert. When she leaves the room, her mother's boyfriend is sitting by the window. He tells Renee not to tell her mother anything about him. He also asks about his keys, and Renee pretends she doesn't know anything. When she goes outside, she's shocked to find the same alien monster in the bushes. She tells it to go away, but it doesn't listen. So Renee takes her ATV and drives off into the desert, hoping the alien will chase her. Now, in the desert, Renee stops. Then the creature appears in front of her and opens its mouth, revealing golden tentacles that wrap around Renee. They spread across her face. Renee's body hovers in the air for a few seconds. When she regains consciousness, it's morning, and the alien is asleep. Renee hugs him and decides she can't leave him, so she takes him home and hides him in the cellar. Meanwhile, in the desert, helicopters and investigation teams are searching for the mysterious object that fell from the sky. The scene then shifts. At home, Renee pretends to go to school and calls her mother to confirm she's at work so Renee can bring the alien home. She brings him in and tries to feed him, but he won't eat. Renee names him Croc. When Renee sings, Croc's scales move as if he's enjoying himself. So Renee wonders if he's enjoying himself or if he's terrified, so she hugs him to make him feel secure. They both sit and watch TV, but when she realizes her mother is home, she panics. She sneaks out with her new friend. Her mother comes in, and she's worried about the house being messy. Takes her medicine so she can clean. Just then, Renee and Croc hurry to the cellar. Meanwhile, Renee's friend comes home to get his camera. Her mother lets him in and tells him to go to Renee's bedroom. There, her friend sees a picture of Renee's dead father. Then, from the window, he sees Renee leaving Croc and going back to her home, telling her mother that she didn't go to school because she wasn't feeling well. When Renee goes to her room, she realizes her friend has seen Croc's video. She says it was just an animal she saw in the desert. She takes the camera from him and then discovers that her friend stole the tape. They fight over it. Her friend tells her, "Look, Renee, I know you're not telling the truth. Tell me the truth or I will give the tape to the police." Renee then takes her friend to the cellar. Croc tries to attack the boy, but Renee tells him, "Calm down, he's just my friend." When Croc smells her friend, the boy faints and his pants get wet. After a while, he regains consciousness. Renee pets Croc and sings a song, causing his scales to move. Seeing this, her friend is convinced that this alien is friendly. He then gives the tape back to Renee and promises not to tell anyone, but they don't realize that an agent is hiding nearby, listening to their conversation and taking photos. Later that evening, Renee hears some strange noises coming from the cellar. She goes downstairs and sings to her alien friend. She tries to feed him, but he doesn't like any of the food. The next day, Renee's friends suggest that this monster is like a dinosaur and must love hunting. In the evening, Renee and her friend take the alien somewhere to hunt. There are some pigs there. The monster hunts and eats them. Renee happily hugs her friend, but the alien turns around and cries loudly, refusing to let them touch each other. Night falls as Renee leaves the alien back in the cellar and heads to her room. Just then, her mother's boyfriend arrives, drunk. He grabs her hair, throws her on the couch, and asks about his gun. Renee tries to lie, but he knows. Renee is forced to admit that the gun is lost. The mother's boyfriend becomes angry and says that Renee doesn't respect him because she doesn't feel threatened. Frightened, Renee tries to run away, but he catches her. Renee bites his hand to protect herself. Terrified, in a fit of rage, he throws her against the wall and climbs on top of her, trying to strangle her. Hearing Renee's screams, her mother immediately rushes over and pulls him away. Just then, the alien, locked in the cellar, becomes enraged and begins pounding on the wall. The entire house shakes,
as if an earthquake had struck. He stops after a few minutes. After this, Renee's mother finally breaks up with her boyfriend. When he hesitates to leave, Renee's mother throws a beer bottle against the wall, making him leave. The scene shifts. The mother goes to check on Renee, but Renee is furious that her mother let the situation escalate. She goes to the cellar and reminds her alien friend that he has to stay quiet and not show anyone that he lives there. Renee falls asleep there shortly after. The next morning, she leaves. An agent comes to Renee. He tells her that he found the gun that was registered in her mother's boyfriend's name, but the last fingerprints on it are Renee's. Renee makes an excuse that she was just going to the desert to shoot at cans. The agent says that he'll be lenient for now and gives her his business card, but he warns her that if Renee doesn't call him, he'll return with a warrant. The scene shifts to Renee's mother noticing that there's no water in the house, so she calls the plumber. When the plumber goes into the cellar to check the problem and he spots the alien. Shocked, he attacks it with his tool, causing the alien to bite him. The frightened plumber flees in his van, but in his pain and panic, he crashes the van. Meanwhile, we see Renee return home from school. Her mother tries to talk to her, but Renee becomes angry and blames her for everything. Renee goes to the cellar and finds human blood on the floor. The alien is also injured and bleeding. She finally decides she can't keep her friend in the house any longer. The scene shifts to Renee's friend, who is visited by an agent who tries to extract information from him. In the evening, Renee takes her ATV and heads off into the desert, asking her alien friend to follow. The alien runs so fast that it outruns the ATV. After a while, they stop at a place where Renee's friend meets them. Renee tells him she's thinking of locking Croc in a large box in the middle of the desert and returning home. As she's about to get into the van, the drunk boyfriend arrives, gun in hand, and pulls her out. He then forces Renee and her mother into the house and starts crying, complaining that no one loves him, and he becomes so angry that he breaks the table. The scene shifts to the desert, where a group of agents reach the box, but when they look inside and they find it empty. Croc has already broken the box and is heading back to the house. Inside, the boyfriend is beating Renee's mother, and the mother screams, telling her daughter to run. Renee tries to escape, but the boyfriend chases her and slams her face into the side of the van. He then points a gun at her, saying, "Your mother doesn't love me because of you." Croc then arrives and kills him. Renee tries to stop Croc, but he cries loudly and runs into the woods. A short while later, Renee's friend arrives and vomits in shock at the sight of the dead body. He reveals that he has spoken to the agent. Just then, the agent emerges from the house and shoots the tires of the ATV. The agent ties Renee to a chair, and his team attaches equipment to Renee's head and connects her to a computer. The computer confirms that the bond between Renee and her alien friend is strong. The agent breaks Renee's finger so that she screams, and Croc comes running. This is exactly what happened. As she screams, Croc hears everything and comes running back to her. He falls straight into a trap, where he is continuously tortured until he loses consciousness. Renee tries to save him, but the agent puts a mask over her mouth, rendering her unconscious. Croc is transferred to a detention facility. Renee is tied to a chair in an empty room. When the agent wakes her, she spits on his face. She claims Croc is her friend, but the agent says he's dangerous. He says she's the first human to survive. He explains that these are aliens that attack humans and may attack in the future, so they can't be our friends. He had this idea that he could use her bond to study the alien. The agent then threatens her if she doesn't agree. The scene shifts, and Renee's mother comes to visit. She says she's read the letter she wrote earlier and apologized for everything. Renee comes up with a plan: break her finger again. Her mother breaks it. As her screams echo through the facility, the agent rushes in and tries to gag her, but Renee bites him. In a rage, Croc breaks the platform, freeing himself and killing the guards who tried to stop him. Alarms go off and lights start blinking. Croc runs out of the lab and runs through the corridors, killing anyone who gets in his way. Renee's mother, worried for her daughter, tries to reach her, but the doors are locked, forcing her to escape through the vents. She's shocked to find dead bodies lying near the doors. The agent and his partner prepare their weapons and aim at the door. However, Croc attacks them both, knocking them unconscious. Croc is about to kill them, but Renee stops him. She then takes the keys from the agent and frees her hands. Together, they escape the facility. As Renee and her alien friend tries to get into a car, the agent returns and begins shooting at them. Renee and the alien hide behind the car, but the agent keeps firing. Croc gets out to save Renee, and the agent fires repeatedly at him. Croc reaches the agent and kills him. Renee runs
runs to Croc and finds him dead. The scene changes to a few days later when Renee, her mother, and her friend are having a picnic. The next scene shows a government lab where scientists are studying Croc's body. Then we sense movement, indicating that he's still alive. The movie ends with this. Thank you for watching.